To introduce our guest this evening at EMA Web TV, I have to spend a couple of words because Albano Agabiti is the president of Asnacodi in Italy. He is the president of Coldiretti and Consorzio Agrario Umbria. But you're also a farmer. Yes, you produce wine, cereals. I'm told that you work all the time, like all good farmers. Asnacodi, Italy. A few words about it. It's an association which includes 43 defense consortia or protection consortia which do passive defense, and they undersign collective policies, insurance policies with the companies. It's 75,000 farmers who adhere to the collective policies. We insure 9 billion euros approximately, 1 million hectares, 25% of the Italian agricultural GDP. What should we defend ourselves against, and why should we get insured against climate change? In the past, this tool in the 70s was introduced thanks to a law which gave the possibility to set up defense consortia. But up until 2005, the most important disaster was one only, and it hit many of the areas in our territory. It was hail. The most important disaster was hail. But in 2005, we were able to change the law entirely, and a new law introduced the possibility to insure 11 risks from frost to wind to drought, alongside hail, also the volcano ashes of the Etna volcano and everything that can cause damage to the crops. And you know, the law set up these consortia. The state gives a contribution to the insurance cost. Up to 2005, it was a 50% contribution, and then before 2005, it was 50%, and then it became 80%. Also, the greenhouses and the animals can be insured. The animals can be insured against epizootics. Well, an irreversible climate change is now ongoing. How will the insurance world change? Climate change is for sure. If we want to go into the details, in the last 20 years, from 2000 to date, we had 7 major droughts and 4 or 5 frosts covering the national territory. Until 2000, the cyclicity of droughts was 20 years, and for frost, the return period was 30-35 years. This change is really irreversible. Climate change is taking place all the time, requiring different attitudes. We are working to increase the farmers' the insured farmers' base, and also we're using a mutual fund for disasters covering the 760,000 farmers that receive the first pillar of direct payments. A small portion of damages will be indemnified, but all 3 major damages will be indemnified. Now, the association world, how important is it? In agriculture and in any sector in general, it counts a lot. I mean, the defense consortia are an extraordinary opportunity for farmers. Coldiretti has social strength, and there is delegitimization. While there is delegitimization of other entities, Coldiretti is becoming stronger and stronger. We have 1.5 million members, and therefore through great planning and direct relationship with the consumers, we were able to reach this goal. We not only defend the interests of the farmers, but the interests of the whole country towards healthy food, healthy quality of life, healthy environment. So basically, we have always safeguarded biodiversity, the landscape, etc. So we have converted an agricultural problem into an opportunity for our country. It's not by chance that in Italy we have the most unique type of farming in the world. This is really a record that we have. Think of what Istat wrote some months ago. For the first time in history, it is said that with 575 million euros worth in value from production to the end user, the Italian agriculture represents more than 25% of the country's GDP. You know, it's the GDP of an industrialized country. It's the seventh industrial power in the world, the first in services, perhaps. So we're talking about an extraordinary reality representing or accounting for one-fourth of the country's economy. Not only this, given the new challenges, including climate change, we are in a special position. You know, high-quality agriculture like the Italian one, characterized by a sea of biodiversity, in the future will play an increasingly important role. Agriculture is not only production and processing and sale of food, but also services, from agricultural tourism to educational farms to maintenance of green areas for the public sector, and other many more opportunities, not only for the farmers but for the country as a whole. I'm smiling because we were joking with my colleagues before and said, you know, if the farmers were not here, we could not eat. You know, iPhones are not eatable at all. So thanks God there are farmers. So climate change, increase in the raw material price, wars, where are we heading to? First of all, I believe we should go back to being what we are and what we can do. For many years, I think we have imitated, we've mimicked certain attitudes. Other countries, for example, the industrial period, the tertiary period, then the advanced tertiary sector, and we have followed all fads, dismantling some productive sectors. Of course, certainties are no longer certainties, like war in Europe or the pandemic. We thought that the pandemics were could only belong to the past centuries, and yet we have gone through a pandemic. We have to go back to a more balanced type of economy, highlighting the resources. Food sovereignty, health sovereignty, energy sovereignty have to be highlighted very clearly. They must be the added value of each country. And if you allow me, Italy can be number one in this sovereignty. This is our future challenge, and this is our hope for an increasingly central role of agriculture in our country. Thank you. Thank you.